Hey up guys, what's going on? Welcome back to York City, where today we start the first of 4 matches against Manchester clubs. 3 against City, separated by 1 against United. First up, Champions League, away leg. So yeah, we pop over to the Etihad in the first of today's game, and then we welcome Manchester United to the York Community Stadium before we then welcome Manchester City for the second leg, and then go to them in the Premier League after that. But just the first 2 today, of course. Now, I have played through a little bit further than I probably was intending to do. There was a very good chance we would have played Newcastle all the way through to the end of the season. Whether or not we do any Premier League games from here on in does depend on today's result against Manchester City in the semi-final. Also, the result against Man United, because, of course, if we lose the opportunities to break any records and there's no real focus from the Premier League anymore, we do need to win all 4 games to break the record. So if that's still a thing, then you might see more of those towards the end of the season. If we lose any opportunity to do that, then there's no reason to show you those games. Same with the Champions League, of course. If we put the Champions League to bed this first leg somehow away at the Etihad, if we just demolish them in some way, there's no real point to do the second leg either. So scheduling wise, there's also something we need to point out. We did win in the FA Cup semi-final. I'll get to that result in a second. Leeds did beat Tottenham. So the last derby wasn't the last derby. Thanks, Leeds. Thanks for ruining that one. Although it is kind of fitting that our last domestic game will be against Leeds. But anyway, the results since we last met. Three goals, I know you said. 3 goals were scored while I wasn't even at the computer. In this one, I needed to deal with some business and didn't pause it after we went 1-0 up in 4 minutes. I returned at half-time to see the scoreline was 4-1. And then we scored 2 in the second half to make it 6-1, along with a disallowed goal, so it could have been even worse for them. Feel a bit sorry for West Brom. They came very, very close to being quite good. And then they had their best striker poached and then sidelined by Chelsea. Newcastle, 1-0. Possibly the most wasteful game of football I've ever seen. 2 missed penalties. Sums this game up more than anything I could ever possibly try to do with here. So yeah, 2 missed penalties. About 17 missed clear-cut chances between both sides. Yeah, 10 clear-cut chances, 6 half chances between 16 chances. 1-0. Now, you can see the lineups here. You can see them on the previous page. People with football knowledge right now may be questioning one of the players in their lineup. And that is their usage of attacking midfielder Faustino Andrien in central defence. I was confused too. I took a screenshot just in case. He does have a minor ability in central defence in terms of comfortability in role, but you look at his defensive attributes there, and, well, he is lacking in certain key areas, notably tackling, marking, heading and positioning. So, not particularly great on the bravery or aggression front, let's be real either. So, also hates big games and goes forward whenever possible. Quite possibly the worst choice for a central defender you could possibly have. The fact it is 1-0 is quite weird. You can see his dynamics there. Feels Ethan Ampadu is a great team leader in the dressing room. Does suggest this was an emergency choice. It's not something they do on a regular basis. And actually, they've been winning every game since we played them, I'm pretty certain. Quite well. But 1-0 in the end, and 3-2 was incredibly flattering to Tottenham. We dominated them. Should have been more than 3 in the half time. Should have been more than 3 goals full stop in both halves. They got a 94th minute consolation goal, which does make that look a lot tighter than it actually was. Premier League wise, as I said, we do need to win all 4 games to break the points record, which was set by Manchester City in 24-25, which was 103 points. If we lose any game, if we don't win any game between now and the end of the season, then that's gone. Norwich, by the way, still in a chance for Champions League football if Arsenal cock it up in the final 3. We still have to play Chelsea. That's the game in hand that they have, so Everton's position in 7th is looking kind of okay at this stage if they want to get European football. Leeds could also nip in there too, still. Chelsea manager has been sacked. Worth noting that, quite recently as well. Of course, I do feel a little bit sorry for the Chelsea managers because it's largely because of the personnel being played in the wrong places. We've highlighted this before. Now, Rick has recently thrown a bit of a hissy fit over his playing time, which had everyone, and I mean everyone, on his side, until I talked to them all and said, well, I made the decision for the good of the team, and literally everyone went, all right, fair enough. So we're all good again on that front, except for him, which is good news, of course, because I wanted to play Washington 5 times in the league so he could get a Premier League medal. It's an incredible balancing act I'm having to deal with right now. Also just realised we're away from home, of course, so that formation, please. Gonzalez's recent form, 6.5 average, is largely reflected because of that penalty miss, by the way. It's not quite as bad as it looks at first appearance. In fact, because Godoy is injured, forgot about that. I've got Jamie Harvey, the required games for him to get a Premier League medal. Not that you've really ever seen him. So the lineup in this away leg will be Christian in goal, Kovalev, Moena, Azata and Shan. And of course those two fullbacks are enforced because of injuries. Teko, Seri and Grimes will line up in the middle with Carpentier and Yurchenko, and Gonzalez up front. Vidarson just on 90%. Just give him a bit of a breather. He's played essentially every game recently. Worth noting, Yurchenko, star rating wise, has just exploded. He's technically not any better than Cantoro, but star rating wise has exploded. He's also still only on £8 a week. His contract's up at the end of the year. That's one of the ones I'm going to have to deal with going into next season before I retire. But look at his league form. He's got 7 goals in 14 appearances. He's actually one of the better strikers as well because he's comfortable there. And away we go. I think actually I won't go attacking either. I'll just come back already on that front. Although that's been cleared. I was slightly confused which end we were at there for a second. There has been a foul. There has been a foul by Mark Muller. I don't know where the highlight was. I thought he was about to be sent off the way that highlight ran there, but no. Sorry, punts this one. A near post. Azarta's there. He's hit the bar. I've told you, that's the strategy. Near post Azarta. Aladima is injured, which is fantastic news for us. Where's Jamaica? What's happened to him? I just realised out of context, where's Jamaica? Now Rosie's gone off fully injured as well. Good God. I suppose I'll be fielding questions afterwards about the physicality of my team, even though, let's see what those injuries were. Groin, which is obviously groin and thigh, so yeah, neither of those inflicted by me. I mean, it's been an incredibly dull game so far. Kovalev's booked. I don't know if that affects the second leg at all. The good news is Bradley Saxton is nearly back, so he might actually be back for the next leg of this. I'm not fully certain. Probably be back for the league match against them. Kovalev just teasing this left-hand side for a while. Yurchenko's at the back post. He's hit the post. 2 Woodwork chances. Was it a very good save or was it Woodwork? Because we're getting a goal line highlight here. Just going to demand a little bit more. We're getting a throw from Kovalev. He's managed to put it in. And Ivan Seri has headed it in. No interference from anyone else, so no one could possibly be offside. And Kovalev, not the one with the long throw skill, has managed to assist this. Seri, not the one necessarily with the heading ability either. Because Kovalev's long throws are 8, and Seri's heading is 10, with a jumper reach of 11. Basically 6 foot tall though. A little bit surprising he was the one to score there though. And an away goal, of course, an away goal, which is key. They're still playing cautiously against us at home. I mean, it kind of shows you how much people fear our team, doesn't it? Moena, Carpentier. That said, I'm not certain if we've beaten them this year yet. Can't remember what the first league match was. Might have been a draw. Azarta, not quite. Dear God, now David Curvo's gone off fully injured. That was a foot injury. That one might have been caused by us. And they've already made their third change, so they're down to 10 men. So they've got no one on their left attacking side, so we'll attack down the right. I just realised I've made no changes. Let's make all 3 of them now. 3 players who weren't even booked. Shows my priorities, doesn't it? We do have one final highlight though, 30 seconds to go. We've got a corner, and it's gone in. Sindri Vidarson, I don't think I've ever said his full name before, has got a goal in injury time. 2 away goals. And 2-0. Oh, this is borderline comfortable. This is borderline comfortable for me not bothering to show you the home leg. All right, well done. They didn't even have a shot on target. At home. Called it. Although it did actually call out David Curvo, in particular this one. Which was fair enough, because that was the one I think might have happened because of a tackle. The fact that Ivan Seri is 30 is ridiculous. I'm fairly certain we signed him at 25. For 25 million. Oh no, I tell a lie. I think it would have been 24. But he was 25 million, so that's why he was... confused me. I mean, once again, shout out for Flamengo for buying a player for 35 million and putting a 25 million release clause in his contract. Stellar financial work from them. Mr. Consistent. Anyway, speaking of consistent, actually, I was reminded recently that Ponce went to Tottenham. He has been consistently average for them as well. 6.7s every year. He is the one I definitely don't regret letting go. Meanwhile, Barcelona fare a little bit better against Bayern Munich than they did in real life. Although the fact Bayern scored immediately would have had them concerned. Meanwhile, in the Europa League, Man United have been put out by Valencia. Oh, sorry, it's just one leg. It's 2 legs, of course. But yeah, Man United losing to a Europa Spanish side. That's not something that happens in real life, is it? Hello. One sneaky record's nearly gone completely under my radar there. Christian could get a clean sheet record. 28 for the season, which is impressive. Which is actually very, very impressive, the number of times he's not played in goal for cup competitions as well. Because we've had quite a lot of opportunities this year to play Labad, all the way up to sort of quarterfinals and semi-finals, thanks to Northampton and Wrexham and teams like that. But he's still got 4 Premier League matches and an FA Cup final, barest minimum. Incidentally, I'm recording this after they've announced the first Premier League fixtures for the seasons. And I noticed that Liverpool are playing Leeds right now, in a weird coincidence. Also Tottenham and Everton, Aston Villa, Man City. Wrong way around that one, but what are the bloody chances of that? I know the Manchester match is postponed because of obviously keeping them 30 days, but good job we got Harvey the game time when he needed it then. So I mean that Newcastle have just been on an absolute stormer since we beat them. It's a shame they're not in the contention for anything. Norwich not capitalising. Sadly, it looks like both Norwich and Leeds will definitely miss out on any kind of European football. That said, actually, no, Everton lost as well. Chelsea is the problem. So with us back at home, we can switch back to 2 strikers. However, not a lot of changes in personnel, just mostly replacing those players I took out last time around. So Cantoro back on the right side, Vidarson back in midfield, and Godoy back up front now he's returned from fitness. Saxton sort of available for the bench as well, which is good news. Good news. Persevering with Gonzalez despite the recent form. He's got 26 goals this year for a reason, and there's a partnership that's provided almost 50 between them, along with a further 27 I think it is from Carpentier in total, wherever he's played. It's a reasonably defensive formation for Man United here. 2 regular wingers and 2 defensive midfielders. Nearly pays off as Gabriel goes close there. So perhaps it's just worth a quick reminder on how the end of the season is going to go. Now obviously any cup finals we're in, they're going to be a thing. They've scored a bloody free kick. Maybury, 30 yards out, has scored a bloody free kick. Sorry, just pausing the train of thought. I mean, what has the Wall done? What has Christian done? I mean, no clean sheet record for you just yet, Sunshine. But yeah, any cup finals are going to be there, and then obviously the whole thing wraps up with the Club World Championship at the end of the year, where we can hopefully become the best club in the world officially. I mean, we already are in spirit, but officially would be nice. For a moment there, I thought we were going to lose possession from our fullback in a dangerous position, but Kovalev has found his way into their end of the box, and they've sort of abandoned him somewhat. And in trying to catch him up again, he has been fouled for a penalty. Now, Gonzalez missed the last one. That's the reason for his bad form of late, I feel like. So getting an opportunity to redeem himself. Oh, dear God. Now, for realism, I'm not going to take him off till half-time, but I know I want to take him off right now. And actually, to really not effective... What the hell was that? I know his rating is only going to get worse. I'm not sure who's going to get to the ball here first. I think Sibbald will do. Azarta had every chance to get in there first if he just decided to run, but he didn't. Sibbald's coming to the box, and I'm slightly worried for a penalty for their own regard here. No, he's just going to go all the way and toe poke it at Christian. Cantoro with a corner. Azarta's near post. It's over. We're not really been in this. One thing I do notice, because of their way they've sort of lined up with 2 defensive midfielders and the 2 wide regular midfielders, it is allowing our central 2 midfielders to have a lot of space in there. Gonzalez has got a goal, and that is possibly even more important than the result itself. He's missed a penalty. He's missed a penalty recently as well, which has tanked his recent ratings. But left abandoned there, he's headed that in near posts. Goalkeepers, I don't really know what the goalkeeper's done, to be honest. And that is probably one of the most crucial goals he'll ever score. Because now, despite the fact he scored, he's on a 6.5. It's a long throw from Kovalev. I would have laughed if we've had two in a row there. In regards to the records, drawing here means we can only ever match the current record. 1 draw, 3 wins takes us to 103 points in total. And that's the record. So we can only ever match it if we draw. So 4 wins are crucial, and that is going to get intercepted. I was fairly certain it was. It looked a bit sketchy for a second. Cantoro has dived past that. If he can switch it inwards. If he could switch it inwards. Why do I even bother saying that in this year's match engine? You know what's going to happen. I mean, obviously I'm going to be aggressive with them, but still. Their left-back's had a shocker. He wasn't even the one that gave away the penalty. Gonzalez has done some... Nope, never mind. Like I say, he's done very well to gather the ball there, but he's also immediately given it away again. Not the end of the highlight, though, as Carpentier takes over this highlight, and Godoy has just gone through in what was pretty much an identical situation to the other end of the pitch. And despite it being 1-1, our average ratings are 0.2 lower than theirs. Gonzalez has scored and he's on a 6.4. Bloody penalties. I mean, I'm going to have to take him off now because that rating's only going to keep going down for some reason, despite the fact he scored. Pressing hard up the pitch, that has not been intercepted, the long ball, sadly. Upamecano's come a little bit too far forward, probably for their liking, but he's got away with it as Clark goes through. Saved. Saxton comes on for 20 minutes for a body language aggressive Kovalev, who is already booked. Very worried by that situation. A booked left back with aggressive body language, trying to get a win, and James Grimes, who's just come on as well for Seri, who was nervous. I really don't understand that one. Seri's not like Seri's not a not big game player. He doesn't have that con at all. He's 30 years old. He's essentially the elder statesman of this side. And he had nervous body language. Oh my god, anything you can do, we can do better. Sindri Vedarson with his 6th goal of the season. He scored twice in this episode. 50%. Wow. I mean, that about to say 50% of his goals, the master on there. He's added 50% more goals to his tally in this episode. What I was trying to say before my entire brain shut down watching that goal. Saxton, with one of the best balls I've ever seen. Sadly, Godoy does nothing with the possession and then goes back to Saxton. And he's going to come in now, give it to Carpenter. Grimes on the edge of the box. It's 4-1. It's 4-1. And our average ratings are now 0.1 higher than theirs. Oh, they've just changed dramatically in the space of 2 seconds. It's now 0.2 higher. We're now on an average of 7. They're still on average of 6.8, by the way, despite being 4-1 down. Their average rating hasn't changed between 1-all and 4-1. How is that possible? Maybe he's gone off with an 8.3. 15 straight wins as well in total. Well, out of nowhere, we've won that one 4-1. Goals in the 75th, 79th and 86th minute. Alright? The question is now, of course, whether or not we do the Champions League and the Man City game and then the 2 separate Premier League games after that for points purposes. I don't really know what to do. I'm in a very, very similar situation as I was last time out. So, whatever I decide, I'll bring you that on Monday then. Until then, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.